We alone in the universe? It's a question we've asked for millennia, right? Staring up at the stars and just wondering. But here's the crazy part. For the very first time in human history, we're actually starting to get some real answers.
So yeah, the galaxy might be jam-packed with planets where life could exist. But are any of them even remotely close enough for us to ever reach? It's maybe the biggest question we can ask. Are we alone out here? And today we're going to dive into all of it. The amazing science behind the hunt for aliens, the thousands of new worlds we've already found, and a truly mind-bending secret about the universe that ties space travel directly to time itself. Okay, but before we blast off to distant stars, we've got to get real for a second. Let's start with a crucial reality check, right here at home.
I mean, you know the stories. Our culture is absolutely filled with aliens, right? Everything from friendly visitors to, well, starship invaders. But what's the scientific reality? The hard fact is this. After decades of searching, we have found zero confirmed evidence of life beyond Earth. None. So for now, all those alien visits, they're still just stories.
But, and this is a big but, that does not mean the universe is empty. The real search, the serious one, is happening in this amazing field called astrobiology. And this isn't science fiction, you guys. This is a methodical, scientific hunt to figure out how life even starts and, to find it wherever it might be hiding out there in the cosmos.
So look, if we're not just going to sit around and wait for visitors to show up, then we have to become the explorers ourselves. And mission number 1, find planets that could actually support life.
And what we've found so far is, honestly, it's staggering. Think about it. In just a few decades, we went from only knowing about the planets right here in our solar system to confirming over 6,000 planets orbiting other stars. 6,000! And that's just in our tiny little corner of the galaxy. The night sky is, and I mean this literally, just packed with other worlds.
So with thousands of planets, where do you even start? Well, scientists begin with something called the habitable zone. You might have heard it called the Goldilocks zone, right? It's that sweet spot in orbit around a star. Not too hot, not too cold, but just right for liquid water to exist. And as far as we know, liquid water is the absolute key to life.
But here's the catch. It's not nearly that simple. Just being in the zone doesn't mean anything's alive there. A planet could be a total death trap. It could have a poisonous atmosphere, or no atmosphere at all. Or maybe it orbits a star that's constantly blasting it with deadly radiation. So yeah, the habitable zone is just the first clue. It's the start of a really complex cosmic detective story.
Just check out this comparison. On one side, you've got our home, the solar system, and on the other, the incredible TRAPPIST-1 system, about 40 light-years from us. And get this, it has 7 Earth-sized planets. Now, its star is a cool red dwarf, so the safe zone for life is way, way closer. It's such a powerful reminder that habitable does not automatically mean just like Earth.
Okay, so obviously we can't just go visit these places. So how do we study them from so far away? The answer is incredible. We use their light. Telescopes like the James Webb are so powerful they can watch a planet pass in front of its star. And as that starlight shines through the planet's atmosphere, we can analyze it. We can literally read the chemical fingerprints of gases in the air, things like oxygen or methane. We're on the hunt for what scientists call biosignatures, basically the telltale signs that something is living and breathing over there.
And with that data, we can start to paint these incredible, science-backed pictures of what it might actually feel like to stand on one of these alien worlds.
Just imagine for a second, you're standing on a TRAPPIST-1 planet. You look up, you're not going to see a bright yellow sun like ours. Nope, your sky would be dominated by this huge, dim, red star, and it would cast the whole world in this weird, beautiful, permanent twilight.
And because these planets are huddled so close to their star, they're probably tidally locked. What does that mean? It means one side of the planet is always facing the star, trapped in endless, scorching daylight. The other side, frozen in eternal night. So where could life possibly exist? Well, probably in the Terminator zone, that strip of twilight right between the two extremes. It would be a place of constant, raging storms.
There's another problem. Red dwarf stars can be super violent. They blast their planets with intense radiation. So where could life possibly hide from that? Maybe not on the surface at all. Maybe it's thriving deep underground, in oceans warmed by the planet's core, totally shielded from the killer radiation up top. It's actually a lot like what scientists think might be happening right now on Jupiter's moon, Europa. And if that sounds way too weird to be true, just remember, we have life exactly like that right here on Earth. We call them extremophiles, and they are awesome. These are tiny organisms that live in the most insane places you can imagine. Boiling volcanic vents at the bottom of the ocean, pools of pure acid, deep inside glaciers. They are the living proof that life is way, way tougher than we ever thought. If you enjoy this kind of anime space documentary content, please support me with a like and a follow. It really helps me stay motivated to keep creating.
Okay, so we have thousands of potential targets. We can imagine what they look like. But the real question is, could a human being ever actually go there? Could we set foot on one of these alien worlds?
Let's talk about distance for a second, because this is where things get really crazy. The nearest exoplanet we know of, Proxima Centauri b, is just over 4 light-years away. 4 doesn't sound like a lot, right? But a light-year isn't time, it's distance. 1 light-year is almost 6 trillion miles. That's a 6 with 12 zeros after it. The scale is just mind-boggling. To really put that into perspective, if you got on a regular airplane today, you wouldn't get to Proxima Centauri b for about 5 million years. Even with our fastest rockets, the trip would take tens of thousands of years. The sheer emptiness between the stars, it's an ocean unlike anything we've ever tried to cross. So, overcoming that is just a monumental challenge. I mean, first, you need engines that could get you close to the speed of light, something we can't even begin to build. Then, you'd need to protect the crew from a lifetime's worth of deep space radiation. And on top of all that, you'd have to build a totally self-sufficient world inside a spaceship, a little Earth floating through the void for generations. It is truly one of the biggest engineering problems you can even think of.
The whole journey just seems impossible, doesn't it? But the universe has one more secret, a totally mind-bending twist that changes everything we think we know about time.
Yeah, over 100 years ago, Albert Einstein basically flipped our understanding of the universe on its head. He showed us that space and time, they aren't separate. They're woven together into one thing, a fabric he called space-time. And this is where it gets super weird. According to Einstein, the faster you move through space, the slower you move through time, at least compared to someone back on Earth. And listen, this isn't some wacky theory, it's a proven fact. We've measured it with super precise clocks on jets, and it's even why your GPS works. So, think about those interstellar travelers again. On their ship, zipping along at, say, 99% the speed of light, a 40 light-year journey might only feel like a few years to them. But, and this is the kicker, if they ever came back home, they'd find that centuries, maybe even thousands of years had passed on Earth. They wouldn't have just traveled to another star, they would have traveled into Earth's far, far future. So where does all this leave us? After all this searching and all this mind-bending physics, what's our real place in this huge, mysterious cosmos? All right, let's break it down. Here's what we know for sure. There are thousands of planets out there. We also know the laws of physics are stranger and cooler than we ever thought. What's possible? Well, it's totally possible some of these worlds could have life, maybe even just simple microbes scattered all over the galaxy. But here's the big unknown, the missing piece of the puzzle. We have no proof, not a shred. So scientifically speaking, we're still alone.
So yeah, no evidence of aliens, but thousands and thousands of worlds just waiting. So what is the great silence of the universe? Is it a sign that we're really all there is? Or is it an invitation? A sign that the greatest journey we could ever take is only just beginning?